Hey everyone, Alex here, and today we're going to unbox and take a look at the REVOSIM RS PURE Loadcell Handbrake. And yes, you heard that right, Loadcell. Now, first let's take a look at the box. As you can see, here's the front, and it does show the two different mounting position styles that you can have with this setup. Now, let's open this up and see what's inside this box. So to start off, you do have the official guide and warranty information for the actual handbrake. You have some cables. You have different elastomers, which you can use to actually change the feel of the handbrake. Then you have the actual desk mount for the handbrake as well. Let's take a look at this in more details. So I'll set aside this paper here for now. We have the desk clamp, as I mentioned, just here. I'll set this aside here for now as well. You have the two cables, of course, one to plug straight directly inside of your actual REVOSIM base. We'll set that aside. And this is a standalone product as well. So if you don't have an actual REVOSIM products, you can still plug it into your PC with this USB Type-C cable. We'll set that aside here. Then you have the actual handle piece, which you guys can see here. As you can see, then you have all of the tools necessary to actually mount this onto your desk or sim rig. We'll set that aside here. Your elastomers. So there's two here, but there's also a third one inside of the actual mechanism right now. We'll open this up. So you have this one here, which kind of gives you a softer feel. This one is going to give you a lot more of a stiffer feel. And then last but not least, the actual handbrake itself, which we'll take out here. And right here, as you guys can see, is the actual Loadcell handbrake itself with the beautiful REVOSIM logo here. Let's put the box away and let's take a look at all of these products in more detail. So setting this up is pretty easy, but first I want to show you how it works. Right here is an actual magnet piece. So all you have to do is take it off here, and inside you can actually see a spring here already. Now, I'm not that strong and it might be pretty hard to do this, but as you can see how the handbrake itself works. To actually swap out the spring for one of the elastomers that you have with your products, so either one of these two, all you have to do, there's a little lip just right here. All you have to do is kind of unclip it. It pulls out just like so. Then you can take this out of the slots, as there is a little slot just right there. So once you've done that, you can take this spring out. We'll get one of the elastomers, for example. We'll put it on. And then this will quite literally go back inside of the socket, and it'll clip back in just like so. Then get the actual cap just here. And like I said, it'll fold in very nicely with the actual magnet piece itself. And you're good to go with your new elastomer. So definitely a lot more stiff compared to the spring. As you can see, I'm having a bit of trouble actually doing it by hand without mounting it. I'll set that down for now. Next, you have the actual handle. Quite easily, all you have to do is screw it on the top, like so. And just like that, you have the full handbrake ready to go. And I can assure you it's going to be very exciting to use this in your drifting games or WRC games. Well, the next things I should tell you though is how to actually mount this, whether it's on your sim rig or your actual desk, because there's quite a few additional ways to mount it and use this handbrake itself. One of the first ways, of course, is whether it's standing up like this. Now, you can mount it like this on your desk or on your actual sim rig. For your desk, you have the desk clamp here, and very similarly to the actual shifter, we'll undo this. And it's going to slot in just right here, like so. And now you can easily mount it onto your desk with the actual desk clamp, and you can put this right next to your actual shifter. Now, the other way to mount this is if you flip this over on the bottom, you can actually see that there's 5 screws. And in this bag that's provided to you in the box, you have some screws to allow you to mount this up. So all you need to do is essentially line it up with your sim rig holes and then put the screws on with the Allen key and the actual nuts as well. So we set all of these nuts and bolts aside here. So you do get 2 T-nuts, as you can see here. Then you do also get 2 screws, 2 washers, 2 nuts, and of course, 2 Allen keys. If you want to mount this on the bottom, all you have to do is grab your washer, put the washer on like so, and then you're going to screw this in one of the holes once it's lined up on your sim rig, and you're good to go just like this. However, there is another way to actually mount this because you can change the orientation of how this works. Now, in its current form, you're going to be using it like this, of course. But there's another way to actually use this. In order to use this in another way, you have to grab the 2 Allen keys and undo these bolts here and here. Let's go ahead and do that. So you have one nut found just here. I'll set that aside. We'll take out the other one. Like so. Take out the screws on the other side. Like so. And now this piece can actually come off. Now that you see this, you can probably imagine the different ways you can have this set up. Well, one of the first ways is you can have it as if it's a realistic handbrake in a car, simply by mounting it again, just like so. It also means another thing as well. So let's actually put this together and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So as you can see, I've now mounted it like this, and just like a car handbrake, all you have to do is pull up, and there you go. You now have the handbrake ready to go. But you can mount this in another position. Some people on the sim rigs like to mount their actual handbrake like this, just so that they can pull it back like so. Now this can easily be done with, of course, the mounts on the bottom, or of course the slots, which very similarly, you can use this screw here, which will slot in. Then you have the washer. You also have the nuts as well, where you can now add this to the bottom. Now that we're looking at the back of the device, you can see the 2 holes here. One to plug into your actual REVOSIM base. You can also use the USB Type-C port to plug it into your PC. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to explain to you how to set it up as a standalone product. So all you have to do is undo this cable, like so, and you have 2 ends. The first end is for the REVOSIM handbrake using the USB Type-C. So we'll plug it in at the back here, like so. Next, we're going to plug the other end into the PC. So we plug this in, we'll wait for it to show up, like so. Now there's 2 things. Sometimes you might actually have a firmware update to update your actual firmware of the device. If you do, click on this here, scroll down, and as you can see, it's going to say update available. So we're just going to update this for now. We'll wait until it finishes. So as you can see, the update has been finished. If you click on handbrake here, we're going to test this right now. So if you pull on this, you can see it shows up on the actual software here. However, there's one thing to notice. Remember, this is a load cell. So load cell is based on the force applied to the device. So as you can see, we can still keep going, but it's stuck at a 100. So what you have to do most of the time, and similar to that of the shifter, the clutch pedal, the brake pedal, etc., is click on calibrate. So we'll click on calibrate here. It says press the handbrake and click next. So you'll push it to your max and then click next, release, click next. And as you can see, we now have the full force of the handbrake. You can also adjust it through the curve, which is just underneath. Here, you can set the actual curve you want. So for example, if you want something linear from start to finish, you would have it on this as the default setup. Then you have this one where it progressively gets more sensitive as you go along the curve, and the opposite for the other one here as well. For the purpose, we're going to use it on linear. We'll click confirm. Handbrake force, depending on how much force you want the load cell to pick up, depends on your personal preference. For example, if we max it out all the way here to 150 kilograms, which yes, this is a 150 kilogram load cell handbrake pedal. As you can see, it's a lot harder to bring it to the maximum. Now, normally, if you do change the force, I recommend you also recalibrate it just to have a proper experience. So for example, I'm going to put this down to 23. And as you can see, it's much easier to reach 100% because 100% is basically trying to reach the maximum of now 23 kilograms. But again, if you want to max it out at 150, you can see it's going to be a lot harder to bring it, which gives you a more precise feel on the actual calibration. Similarly, you can also change profiles for different games. So for example, if you want one game to have a more stiff feeling handbrake, you can do so. If you want to change the curve for a different game, you can do so. So there's all these different profiles you can change. And don't forget, you can also export and import your profiles. So this software allows you to share with your friends and other racers just so that you have the ultimate experience with your REVOSIM device. And that's everything you need to know about your REVOSIM RS Pure Loadcell Handbrake. And I'll see you guys in your favorite racing game, whether it's WRC, Assetto Corsa, Test Drive, or any other game where you think this handbrake will suit you very perfectly. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, but we do also have Nacon Racing Discord, where you'll be able to get a fast response from our support team, as well as discuss the other REVOSIM products that we have in our lineup. And there's even a channel to share your REVOSIM setups. All links will be in the description below. I'm Alex, and I'll see you guys in another REVOSIM video. Hello everyone, today we're going to go over our new product line, the RS Pure Bundle from REVOSIM. So first off, you see we have the REVOSIM app here on our phone, which I'll go into detail as well. And we have the REVOSIM application.